Hi folks, this is all the fruit in the Feijoa or Feijoa or pineapple guava. It's maybe the most intriguing success story with new fruit shrubs introduction in Germany in the last couple years. I remember, well, I've known the fruit for decades, but the first plants I saw a couple years ago in Tenerife. And then they started popping up here in Germany in the 20s. And actually about 3 years ago I made a video why we get no fruits in Germany. I thought maybe it's some pollination issue or something. By the way, it turns out that in Europe nowadays they're mostly pollinated by rats. Yummy for a fruit tree. And then the last couple years there have been a Feijoa explosion basically in my area of Germany. However, this patch here is the only one which consistently produces huge amounts of fruits. This music in the background is quite annoying. Some fraternity is having a party right behind this bush. Well, yeah, when you introduce new fruit trees or in generally new plants to a new area, especially to an area with a different climate, you can get lucky or you can get unlucky. Of course, climate change in the last decades helps us a lot in this. But sometimes you have high hopes and it doesn't work out. I remember a couple years ago I found the super loquat. Well, actually I found it over 10 years ago. It was a loquat that produced a couple huge fruits every year. A couple years ago it produced probably between 80 and 140 kilograms in 1 year. And then I thought, oh great, now this is the new super fruit tree and super loquat for temperate climates. Well, turns out the last couple years it has been producing just handfuls again. But these pineapple guavas here, they are much better. Well, yield-wise at least. But I'd say that this is actually the only patch here in Heidelberg that's really worth harvesting, that's really producing something. I've seen a couple more patches, a couple more shrubs in public parks and also in private gardens, and most of them don't look good. Those here, they're also growing quite quickly. When I started harvesting them 3 years ago, they were maybe 1 meter shorter. They are not very old. They were maybe planted 4 or 5 years ago or so. Growing like crazy, fruiting like crazy. Tried to find out why, and it turns out it doesn't like limestone. And most of the other places where it's been growing is in the Rhine flat, where there are also a lot of carbonate-rich sediments. However, here we are in the old town of Heidelberg, on the slopes of the Königstuhl, so the underground is mostly sandstone, which is quite acidic. And yeah, look at those things. I mean, they're growing like crazy and they're also fruiting like crazy. If you look inside, especially here, this area is basically loaded. Let's see. Well, it's not so easy to determine which fruits are ripe because they don't really change color, but when you touch them and they come off, they're at least half ripe. Pretty sour, but also sweet enough. And with kind of chemical taste. Let's see if you are not sure which are ripe. The ones lying on the ground, most certainly are. Yeah, softer. Sweeter, juicier. Yeah, I will collect a bag full of those. Already collected twice in this patch, and it's a never-ending story. They keep producing and producing and producing. And the fruits, fortunately, are not too conspicuous because of the green color, but still every year people are asking me what this is. I'm telling them, but there is still not too much competition for that. Well, maybe a lot of the people I'm asking are just tourists. Well, if you're wondering why, well, yeah, so the soil is one reason for this area being much more productive. But there are of course also other reasons. This year has been watered throughout the summer consistently for, I guess, about once or twice a week with the little Bowser. And oh, this fraternity is pissing me off. It's fucking Sunday, man. Everybody else would have had a cop car in front of their house already. Well, yeah, so it is growing on acidic soil. I bet also it got fertilized a lot. It's being watered regularly, that's why it's producing regularly. But as I said, other plants in Heidelberg, in city parks as well as in private gardens, mostly in the Rhine flat with these more basic soils, not producing so many fruits. Actually, most of them not producing any fruits and definitely not growing like crazy like those ones. So folks, now I'm starting to fill my bags. Please tell me what you think about the pineapple guavas introduction into colder areas like Central Europe. Are you growing this stuff? Do you have success with growing it? Do you think it's one of the fruits of the future for Germany? Apart from that, stay tuned for a lot more fruit videos from the beautiful and often far too loud city of Heidelberg. And of course, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.